You have control.
Excellent. Okay, so as mentioned already, I'm going to be talking about dynamic data masking. Just a quick introduction of who I am. My name is Willian Dirkin. You might be able to hear I'm an English guy, but I actually am now living in Germany. And soon enough, I'm going to be a German citizen, just working on that this week. I've been working with SQL Server for a good 10 years now, and recently started a company with a mate of mine. It's the Cloud DBA. So if you have any questions at all about this subject or any other, just get in touch with me with the details on the right-hand side there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you've got. So without further ado, let's get into this. As I said, I live in Germany, so something that we do a lot is speak German, obviously, and something that's really, really important over here, has been for many, many years, is the idea of data safety. So just as a quick German lesson, big German word here, Datenschutzgesetz, and we'll just break that down for you. That's basically data protection law. And as I said, in Germany, this is a huge thing, something that's popping up at the moment with Azure itself. Basically, no companies in Germany want to use Azure because of the data security laws here. Will not allow people to store certain information on the Azure infrastructure. And Microsoft has basically rebuilt Azure as a separate entity only inside the German borders. And that's just being released. I think it's actually in June of this year. And yeah, they're really, really serious on that. And these German words are generally, as you can see, set together with single words which are just mashed together. And the longest one that I was able to find is this word here. I can't remember how many letters it is. It's something like 72 letters long. It just shows you Germans can be pretty crazy. Anyways, getting to the topic, dynamic data masking, something that has been touted as a way of increasing security inside SQL Server 2016. And what it actually does as a feature is it masks sensitive data without needing you to change anything inside the database programming itself or inside your application. And it's quite important to note what it does not do is actually change the data inside your database like encryption would. It's just at the time of actually calling the data out of the database that the masking features will actually work. So let's take a quick look at exactly how that works. Basically, when we're creating a table, what we're looking at on the right-hand side is inside the brackets, the functions that are being defined. And we can see here there's two yellow marked columns. They're both different data types, but their functions that are being called are something called default. And what that basically says is SQL Server, take the data that's in this data type, so in the two examples that are yellow, varchar and integer, and use a default masking scheme to hide that data. There are a couple more extra options. So the column 3, we've got here function email, and that tells SQL Server the data inside there is an email address, and use a special function to do so. And we've got another one called partial, which will allow us to partially mask the data inside the column using a certain set of functionality. In this example, we're saying skip the first 5 characters in this column visible, and then cover the rest with X's. And basically what happens with that is taking the data in the top part of this picture, we've got 2 rows of data, and the data is completely normal inside the table. The functions that I showed before are being used to mask the data. So the yellow columns are showing that there's a varchar which is being masked with a default of 4 X's, and an integer being masked with just a 0. The same happens with the email addresses. Something that should be noted though is the email address filter, or sorry, the mask, does not pay attention to the domain. So in the top we can see I have test@test.com, and I have office@informatica.de, and the masking just creates a .com address. So just jump into a quick example of that. Hopefully we can see it in Management Studio. So what I'm going to do is quickly create the same table, just to give that as an example. Same table as I just showed on the PowerPoint. 1 second. We said mask our columns with the same functions as described before. I'm throwing similar data into the table, and as the actual owner of this table, I'm using a function username. I'm going to return who I am. And as I am the sysadmin on this machine, SQL Server tells me I'm database owner. And here's our data completely non-masked. Now I'm going to create a second user who will have permission to select data out of the table. And executing a select as that user will now show me, because I've not explicitly said that my user zerocool can see the data, can select the data, but we can't see any of it. It's all been masked nicely. Now we do the same, reverting back to being a sysadmin. I'm now going to say that zerocool can now unmask data. Simple as that. I can now select out of this table as zerocool, and the data is unmasked. Now, first thing that I do not like about this, something that you have to be aware of, unmask, as it says here in the comment, is not an object level permission. As soon as I say that zerocool can unmask data, he can do so in the entire database, regardless of whether it's just one table or 10,000 tables. The unmask permission is a complete database level permission at the moment. Hopefully, Microsoft will improve that, but at the moment, it's a feature which is available for the entire database, and that's on the RTM version of SQL Server 2016. So, masking the database table is interesting enough, but I want to be able to break in. So let's try, first of all, using our zerocool user and casting a column which cannot be cast to an int. So we have a varchar column here, that's column 2, and in previous versions, in the preview versions of SQL 2016, this error message here would actually give us the value which could not be cast. So at least we now got a little bit more security where it just says I cannot convert the data, and it masks the error message. That's nice.
William, you got 30 seconds over at least, so
30 seconds over even. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I better stop then, eh?
Yeah, well, if you got something just to quickly tidy up, then do that, and then we'll move on.
Okay. Final error which we can actually do is to cast the data as a wrong data type, and that will work. So I'm not allowed to unmask the data, but doing a let's see that again. A square root and a square of the column will actually give us the data unmasked. So it's not a fixed solution. It's not really a safe solution. So using masking or the functioning, the dynamic data masking is useful, but definitely not a completely secure solution. Sorry for running out of time.
That's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, William. That's great.